go and surround the red nucleus. So cerebellum from this side, superior cerebellar peduncles came out and are coming and arising and going through here, and then they're ultimately going to end up here in thalamus in VA and VL. Again, you look at this, you cannot tell medial and lateral divisions or any superior and inferior dorsal and ventral divisions of any part of the cerebellum. Okay? You can, or thalamus, sorry. What you can see from time to time is you can see lateral geniculate nucleus. You know that the rostralmost part of the thalamus is at the interventricular foramen, so this is the anterior part of the anterior nuclear group that's involved in limbic system circuitry. But beyond that, you really can't see anything. On slide number 8 and 9, the pulvinar is labeled, and the pulvinar is just kind of this big bulge at the caudal part of the thalamus. Okay? So those are the things that you can see from a gross point of view. Okay? Any questions?
Are you going to be slicing all of the brains like this, or
Yes.
are you going to leave some whole?
No, there'll be plenty whole. I'm only going to do enough to demonstrate for everybody.
Okay.
This, okay? But no, there will be whole brains left. Okay?
Where's the flocculus for the vestibulocerebellum?
Right.
On this side,
Maybe your brain will be
it is
sliced.
right here. Okay? Now, the critical thing about the cerebellum is I don't want the name of a structure. I want the name of a functional division. You know, there are structures associated with that. This particular deep cerebellar nuclei have a relationship to functional divisions. And there are only three: vestibulocerebellum, spinocerebellum, and cerebrocerebellum, or pontocerebellum. Okay? So I don't want vermis, unless I ask somewhere what components of the cerebellum are involved in spinocerebellum, the vermal and paravermal zone. But I really want you to understand the significance of the fact that you have one part of the cerebellum specific to modifying and influencing vestibular information, one specific to modifying and influencing axial musculature, and one specific to influencing and modifying fine motor activity. Okay?
So we would not be expected to identify the nuclei that are
The
associated
nuclei you do need to know,
We do, okay.
and they're on that one slide.
Oh,
That's
based on
the
the
only
slide, but not
place.
in here.
At some point along the line, if I get lucky in a cut, we might see them. But I probably wouldn't ask it off this because not everybody's necessarily going to see the lucky cut. Okay? Any questions?
In this cross-sectional cut where you can see the posterior and the anterior limbs, is it, are the fibers actually going into the interventricular foramen? Or they're
No,
bending around?
they're just bending around.
Just because that's a central location.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the organization. And the only reason I use interventricular foramen because it gives me the opportunity to show the V shape. It shows the extent of the thalamus, the anterior pole. It shows the difference between anterior, posterior, and genu of the capsule. It shows, it always will show all of the differences between putamen and globus pallidus, and depending on, you can see that they have a bit of a different color to them. And like I said, on this, you can actually see you can see this lamina right here that separates this from this. So you can see internal versus external GP versus putamen.
And if you
Okay.
want to refer to globus pallidus and putamen together, is that the lenticular formation? Okay.
Wouldn't it include the caudate as well?
No. Lentiform is the lens-shaped structure, which is putamen and this. Striatum includes this. Okay?
For along the same lines, so if you were to ask that question, would you say functional division too? Kind of like or functional, so lentiform nucleus, or would you just identify putamen?
Depends on how I ask it. If I just pointed here and you could clearly see the separation, I might ask, be specific. And therefore I'd want putamen, I wouldn't want lenticular or lentiform nucleus. Okay? If I pointed to it and put a couple pins in it, then I would be more inclined to give you credit for lentiform nucleus, putamen, globus pallidus, whatever you got in there that was part of it. But if you added caudate into it, then it wouldn't be right. Okay?
You can't really see globus pallidus internal and external.
Not on this one. On this one you can't. I can because I have a vivid imagination. Okay? Are there any other questions? Okay, I have a question for you.